Hey guys, it's Brindley Tucker, and we are so excited to be bringing Leverage Live to you with Monica Reynolds. Hi, Monica.
Hi, Miss Brindley. Happy Monday, the day after St. Patrick's Day. Here we are.
Here we are. Hopefully everybody, not a lot of people got pinched and everybody was in green yesterday. I want to apologize for having a little bit of a lighting issue on my end. So half of my face is going to be in a very nice glow. And you look beautiful as always, Monica. So you want to tell them what we're doing?
You know, we were talking earlier about what we thought was appropriate to talk about. And so Brindley and I started talking about some of the questions that we've gotten that we think are so appropriate. So there's two questions and they're pretty much similar. And one was from an assistant in Indiana. And she said that she understands that she should be tracking the numbers, and yet her agent doesn't do that. And so it's kind of at the end of the month, he's always scrambling. He goes, how many listing appointments did I go on? And what happened here? And, so it's kind of the end of the month. And so like the 15th protocol that we all know at the 15th of the month to be looking at where you're at, we don't know the answer to that. So let's answer that one first. So Brindley, we have an assistant who has an agent who is not tracking numbers and doesn't want the assistant to get involved. Would you say to that? How could that assistant approach the agent?
Well, I think that I would say be 5 steps ahead of your agent, right? So sometimes we have to do for our agents what they don't even know they need themselves. And I say rather than wait till the 15th of the month, what would it look like if you forecasted for them every week? What if you had a report that showed, here's what we did last week, here's where we are month to date on our expenses, on our pending GCI, right? So what have we closed month to date? And then what do we have pending for the rest of the month? And it was something that you just sent them every week.
Yeah, in MAPS, another thing too is that we have what's called the 4 conversations.
Yeah, the 4 conversations.
And so what if you, which you're right on track there, each week, you don't ask for permission. You just say, here are the 4 numbers. So the 4 numbers that we track in the CGI tool are listing appointments, okay? And then it's also listings taken, and then it's closed and how much money was brought in. Now, I would add some other numbers there too, like how many buyers went under contract, how many listings were pended. And so you can keep track of that. You just have to open up your eyes and just start paying attention on Monday. And then Friday, turn that report in and say, here's some numbers I tracked. Well, now, you may not know the money that was closed, but you could say 3 closed, 1 went under contract and put down the price, right?
I think you also have to put expense management in there, right? We are the income protectors. The agents are the income generators, right? We're the income protectors. So what are you doing to show the expense management? Now, I get that question a lot. Well, my rainmaker doesn't want to release the P&L to me. My rainmaker doesn't want me to know the finances. And I always say to this, we just need to see the actual business expenses, right? There's a lot that goes on with business owners. There's a lot of, I'm not an accountant, Monica's not an accountant. We're not going to tell you how to be an accountant. That's not a job that either one of us would ever want. So all we really need to see is what's the GCI, what's the cost of sale that was paid out to the agents and in referrals and to your broker, right? And that's going to give you your gross profit, and then just the actual business expenses. And you could easily track those as an admin without knowing your rainmakers' finances and how they're doing things in the business and what we call, those certain tax incentives that you do get as a business owner. We just need a P&L that shows true GCI business expenses so that we can see what the net income is for the business, right, Monica?
Right. So I want you to think about this script. You go up to the agent and you say, I've taken Monica and Brindley's course, the Perfect Operations Team, or PRIA, Perfect Real Estate Assistant, and I know that I can help you in the future with your taxes and tracking expenses. So I would just like to help track the expenses each month. So how much do you pay for Zillow? Oh, okay. So we'll start working on that. And then how much did we pay? Who do I find out how much we spent on mailing? Oh, you've got a mail house. Okay, may I contact them and get that figure? So being proactive is the most valuable thing you can do as an assistant, is to not ask for a job, look for the jobs, right, Brindley?
Absolutely. And I think that's where you gain trust too, right? When you're 2 steps ahead of them. I got an email from an agent today that said, I'm starting to lack trust. I'm starting to lose trust. So I'm having to look over my shoulder to see if things are done. And that's when you know you've lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's not good.
Is when they are starting to come to you more than you're going to them, you've lost.
So just to finalize this, you need to approach the agent. The numbers are one of the most important thing, the production numbers, the expense numbers. So there's 2 numbers there, and just go ahead and do it. Don't ask for permission, just start logging it. And here's the key. Those numbers are critical because they're an independent contractor, and a lot of agents are afraid to know the numbers because then it causes them to act like a business person versus, oh, I'll just go sell a house, we'll pay for it later.
Versus a realtor, absolutely.
Right. So the other question that Brindley and I looked at today and we get continually is that I'm on a team and it's my job, the assistant says, to get the numbers from the other agents on our team, be it buyer agents or listing specialists. And I constantly ask them for numbers. They know they're supposed to turn them in on Friday at noon. And she said, I've got 4 agents I'm tracking and none of them turn them in on time. Then I have to tell the rainmaker, I don't have the numbers. And she said, what do I say to get these guys to give me the numbers?
If I got $1 for every time I get that question, we both would be rich, wouldn't we, Monica?
Yeah, I just go back to having a one-on-one with each of them and change the time frame to Thursdays at 5 o'clock. You got a much better chance at getting them on Friday by 5. Yeah. And then ask them that these are the standards. What could you do to be proactive to help them remember? Could you send them an email Thursday morning, Wednesday night, and say, I'm happy to send you reminders. And do you understand how important this is that we track these numbers? And that being part of the team, this is our standard, this is our culture. And so one of the things too is that, when we track numbers as mastery clients, we know that it takes 120 contacts to get a listing appointment. And so with that, to take a listing, to get a contract, we know that it takes 12 contacts to set an appointment. What if your team takes 50 contacts to find a lead? Then it's a skills issue. You can't determine if people have a skills issue or a time issue that they're not putting the time in until you start to track the numbers. So you have to say that this is a requirement. Please understand, this is my job. I don't want to be a nag, but I need your cooperation. And this way, we'll be able to see what skills you need to work on or what time, how we find more time for you. What else would you add to that, Brindley?
So I have a couple things. Number one, I always go to, we reward the behavior that we want to see, right? So how are we celebrating the agents that are turning their numbers in on time? So that's number one. Number two, do we have a system that supports and makes it easy for the agents, right? So if we're using a system that's too complicated, you're going to lose them. One of the best systems that I've ever seen is our friend Kristen Cole. If you go to kcndailynumbers.com, KCN, so Kristen Cole Network, dailynumbers.com, it's all set up where you can enter it into a Google form. Now at MAPS, we also have sheets of paper that you can have them fill out. You can turn those into Excel spreadsheets with the same information. So again, like Monica said, it's having the one-on-one conversations and asking, how can we make this the easiest possible way for you to enter these numbers? Because data is king, right? And the data is what's going to show us your conversion rates. It's going to show us what your appointments held to appointment set, to all of those numbers that you need so that we can maximize your time, because there's nothing like staying on the phone and lead generating for longer than you have to, right? And without the data, we can't see what your behavior is in order to be able to know where you can maximize your efforts. And are your activities leading to the results that you want?
Now, some of you have Mojo and Vulcan 7 and, predicted dialers like that. And if you're using those, then you need to get the access code in, because then you can see how many calls they've made, how many dials they made, how many people they talked to, how many minutes they were on the phone. So
Yeah.
if you're using those systems, just get their password in and then you can grab that information on Friday.
Yeah.
That's
Another great thing is to have a daily stand-up meeting in the morning where everybody calls in and reports their numbers.
I think they don't tell the truth though.
Okay. Well, that's we have an integrity issue. Then do we have the right people on our team, right?
Well, I think that some people hide, and so they may think they did certain things, and sometimes they just feel like, well, I'm going to say that number, I'll make it up later.
They might imagine that they made their contact.
They have imaginary conversations with themselves saying that they're going to. So that's never worked for me. It might work for some teams, but I could always tell because they would tell me their numbers, but the results weren't there. So they're doing 120 contacts a week, setting no appointments, and they're just doing their numbers just perfect every single time. Then I said, we have a skills issue.
Another thing I love that a team recently did was an awareness board. Instead of an accountability board so that it didn't feel so heavy, they call it an awareness board. And they have the awareness board in their office, and that's where everybody has to report. And I think people would have a hard time lying on something like that the whole team was going to look at on a regular basis.
And that brings to mind, and I had a board in my office where you had to put your contacts in every day. And at 5 o'clock, if you didn't, my assistant would then go and put a red 0 there. And so you got a 0 for the day. So the last thing you did was walk out, put your numbers before you left. And it doesn't take too many zeros for you to get kind of upset with yourself and you start to pay attention more.
Well, and I think also what's amazing is that we have this great thing coming out, and it's, rolling out in pieces called KW Command.
Yeah.
Command is going to do all of this for you. There won't be anywhere for the agents to hide because everything will happen within Command.
And then the assistant's going to have to go get a prodder, electric prodder, like they do for cattle, and stick it in their back and say, get on there and put your numbers in. So
you all heard that from Monica Reynolds, not from me. I did not give you permission to go get a prodder and prod your agent.
Well, it may take that. So some of you will be going, they hear it and then they're gone, but that's because they're independent contractors. However, I think if you just keep nagging, and I use the word nagging because that's how you feel that you have to keep doing it. So let's use the word reminding them until they get it down. It's part of the culture. It's part of who you are. And most importantly, tracking numbers allows the agent to see what they need to do. Gary Keller always says real estate's a math equation. It's just a math equation. So what are the numbers for you to take a listing, to get a buyer agency under contract? Do you have to sign 5 buyer agencies to put 1 under contract a month? What are those numbers? And so simple. And that's why, an assistant is so powerful with tracking these numbers and helping them stay on track.
Well, and here's the deal too, guys. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't like to work for free. And when I don't know what my efforts are doing and I'm not tracking that data, I'm working for free. And I don't know about you, Monica, but I don't think any of us got into real estate to work for free. Now, our dear friend at
I'm a pretty giving person.
Okay, on that note, our friend Drew, who is a fellow MAPS coach, he's a tech coach, he is saying that Command will actually track the numbers itself for you if you call through it. So, Brett, can you confirm, can you call through at this point? Is that even a possibility, or is that something that's coming? So we'll get y'all some more information. We're going to be live every Monday night now. We may invite some special guests. Monday nights at 6:30 Pacific, that's 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain. We know we test ran this previously. We beta tested it and we got really good response. So we just needed to find a rhythm and a night. And Monica and I have committed, you all have permission to hold us accountable, that we will be, one of us, if not most of the time, both of us will be here.
It'll be you for sure.
Every Monday night. And we may bring some people like Brett Shagru on and some other people to talk to you guys about what's going on in the world of leverage. Because I think our industry is changing a lot when it comes to leverage, isn't it, Monica?
It is. And then we'd love for you to send us any ideas. My email is monica@monicareynolds.com that you'd like to hear us talk about. And I know that, Brindley, you'll give them your email here in a second, but we really want you to give us some feedback The other thing is we're going to touch lightly on command and different things. So we'll start really pulling some stuff together that you can be using. And so here's the thought though. Gary Keller said in his private mastermind, if you're using XYZ CRM, don't change. However, start integrating some of the database over to command and using some of those. So you're going to have two going at the same time, because there's things that command can start doing that your CRM doesn't do. And you don't want to miss out on that.
Absolutely. I'll end us on that note and take us out. So Brett says through Kelly or through a dialer like Phone Burner that connects with command via PieSync. If you don't know what PieSync is, guys, go check it out. PieSync is how you can start linking things together in command. And just like Monica said, take your past clients, take your orphan buyers, take your own sphere and start playing around with command to get to know it. And then as you become more comfortable, you can start adding more and more contacts. And just like Gary said in Mastermind, you don't want to be behind the 8 ball on this stuff, guys. Like if you're trying to play catch up in the 7th inning, like it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So let's go ahead and make that a challenge. My email is Brindley, BRINDLEY @kw.com, Monica at MonicaReynolds.com, Brindley at KW.com. Send us all your topics that you want us to cover. Any questions, we'll answer them on next week's live, and we'll see you guys next Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. Have a great week. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.